I started Iyengar yoga when I lived in Bellingham, Washington, and I was an avid snowboarder. And I had a friend named Betsy who encouraged me to go to yoga class. Basically, I went because I was going really fast on my snowboard and I would crash. And I wanted to be more flexible for my falls so I could get better at snowboarding. And I showed up in this advanced class, and all of a sudden I realized I could hardly bend over in Uttanasana. And the teacher, Elizabeth Kerwin, was just so nurturing, and she would just hand me a chair or some blocks, and she never made me feel embarrassed or disappointed that I couldn't do poses like everyone else. It was an awakening that I needed some self-care in my body. And then I ended up moving to Indiana and I found Lois Steinberg. I'll share some poses that have helped me to alleviate pain right away and poses that I do to actually stay ahead of pain. My favorite pose for elongating my neck and also quieting my brain is a form of shavasana that we do for traction in the neck and to calm the nervous system and brain. So I'll show this variation in the chair here. And so what I did is I tilted the chair actually. So the chair is on 2 blocks. And that just gives a little angle to the chair so that there's more space for the head underneath. And then I hung a sandbag on this front rim. So, you know, it's nice to have these backless loop yoga chairs with this front rim to be able to do this pose. You could put a sticky piece here and maybe a 25-pound plate weight, and that will probably hold down the chair. So you just need a counterweight here. And I actually like to put 2 sandbags just to make it extra secure. What I do here is I lay underneath the chair. And I actually have up here, I like to use a knee strap, so a knee rod belt, because it's a little bit shorter, but you could just use a regular belt. So this belt, this is a small belt that's attached here to the top of the chair. So this is a vertical position of this belt loop. And then I loop a second belt. So I'll just take this chair, the tail back here of this first belt. And the second belt is horizontal. So this one is like a hammock for the skull. And so you don't want this belt up here because when you put your head in, it'll twist. So that's why we add this top vertical belt and then this horizontal belt at the bottom. So we're basically making a nest or a hammock for the skull. And so I'll scoot under here and I'll show, this is where the belt will go. So it's on the dome of the skull. So it's not down here at the base of the skull. Okay, you don't want the belt digging into the neck. It goes on the skull part where you feel that dome, right above my ponytail scrunchie here. And personally, I like to have a 3-fold accordion fold blanket underneath the top of my femur heads because I find that really helps spread my sacrum and it helps me rest my thighs. So Gita, I heard Gita say that when our thighs are rested, our brain can be rested. And that really stuck with me. So I bring this blanket up to the top of my femur heads. You could always lay flat with the legs or do swastikasana or baddha konasana. Now this hammock here, so I have to get underneath this chair, which is again why I slanted the chair. So I'll bring this right on that dome of the skull. And I like to have this tail downward because it's easier to tighten the belt. So I can make the belt loose to start with and then just pull on this chair because it's very, very precise. So I'll show. So if your chin is up, that means that you have to loosen the belt, okay? And if your head is flat, like that, the belt is too big.
So you have to get it just right. And so here I've pre-measured mine. Okay, so I pull the belt up so you can see it's a little bit above my ears. It's not on my ears, not by the ear canal itself, but above. When you know it's right, so you can also tuck the shoulders and relax the hands. And when this is correct, for me personally, I just close my eyes and my consciousness is drawn inward. Also, the jaw releases, which is very, very important. When the jaw releases, the brain starts to relax.
I hope to see some of you at the headache workshop. As a reminder, this workshop will help you build a toolbox for dealing with headaches. And also teachers, it will help you create a baseline for having poses that you can pull out for variations.